All right, yes, now people, welcome the Unquestionable Nerds. Today we welcome in Phillip Simon, I would say author, children's book author.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, before we start, right, Phil, just introduce yourself to everybody and, uh, you know, whatever you want to say.
No problem. So, as my boy Ashton said here, my name is Phillip Simon. I am a children's book author. You know, I do a bit more writing elsewhere as well. Well, I'm working on a couple other things that is not so much children related, but for the most part, I do enjoy writing for children, and I have 2 books so far: a coloring book and another one on the way. Yeah, man. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, man, and just remind the people the name of the book.
Right. So the first book, well, the series is called the Petra series. The first book is called Petra and The Poui. The second one here, Petra and the Panman's Daughter. Then there's the coloring and activity book, and then the third one on the way dropping July, August this year.
I'm very excited. Me myself, I collect the books just because I think it's good to have something nice and local in my collection, right? I mean, it might not be a comic book. I've had one before in the past, but I've lost that book. I think it was called the Midnight Rubber issue 1.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've had that local book. But this is as close as I come to like a local book. It have illustrations, it have story, it have a main character, right, to follow. So I really enjoy Petra, and I just think that more people need to know about it who might not know about it.
Right.
And hopefully we can reach out to them today.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing first. Well, one thing first for me, I guess I'm going to say this a lot, right?
Right.
But where do you say that your nerddom or your fandom resides? What is it that is your nerdy little core?
Boy, I feel like I have a few. One of the main ones definitely is anime.
Anime.
For sure. Well, you can clearly see the influence with the books, because the Petra series, as you know, is based on a Trinidadian girl who has many encounters with Japanese culture.
Right.
You know, so I would say anime has influenced me a lot, and I love anime. Also, video games and reading. I used to love reading. I fell out of love with. I wouldn't say fell out of love, but fell out of time for it. But I decided to make the time, and very recently I've decided to read a lot of the classics.
Okay,
so
nice.
yeah, this year I promised myself every month at least I read one classic, and I'm keeping up to it very well, actually.
Oh, well, it's the second month of the year. Well, third month of the year. So
Yeah.
what book are you going to choose for this month?
I've already started. So this month I'm reading The Great Gatsby.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Last month it was Peter Pan and also Animal Farm. That's short, so I just
Right.
kind of threw that in there. And I actually started from Christmas. So Christmas I read A Christmas Carol.
Nice.
Yeah.
On brand, right.
Then I jumped into Peter Pan. Then I also read another short novella called The Death of Ivan Ilyich. It's a very heavy book, short but heavy.
Okay.
And then Animal Farm, and now The Great Gatsby. Yeah.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Big up. Yeah, yo, reading, people, believe it or not, that's a hobby. You can do that. You can sit down, you can relax and read a book. I know it's crazy in this time to think about that, but because I read comics and collect comics still, I always reading something, right?
Yeah. That's a next thing. I want to throw in some comic books there. But there's a series of comics in Marvel, Japanese, well, you know me, and in anime. But I can't remember the name of the group of books. I think it's X-Men. That's Psylocke in it, but it's a Japanese art style. I don't know if you're familiar.
Right. So there's a couple like that, right? There's one called the Mangaverse. I have that.
I feel like it might be that, you know.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have that series.
Yeah.
Then there's the Dark Phoenix one.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's just the art style, but I mean, like, it's very Japanese in the way they present the way the format is.
Okay.
In terms of, you know, how the Japanese like to go overboard with their thing.
Yeah.
Right, so the same kind of thing, right?
All right.
They have that, and I think that's about it that I can that I have personally.
Okay, nice.
I remember seeing those books back in like early 2000 maybe.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know. I
You're
picked
right.
this up and you talking about it now. But I'll tell you this, if you're looking to become a comic book reader and you want to pick it up casually,
Right.
the best thing to do is pick up trades, right?
Okay.
So trades is a whole bunch of issues collected in one.
I think I heard that, you know.
Yeah. So you don't have to buy single issues because not only is that expensive, it's if you're not collecting to
Yeah.
resell eventually, then would
It
it
don't
make
make
much
sense.
sense? Yeah.
Right, I understand that. That makes sense, yeah. Because, boy, for years I wanted to get into comic books. I just don't know where to start at all, boy.
Yo.
Real daunting, I wouldn't lie.
It was so random for me because I started with Punisher,
Okay.
and from there I went to Generation X, and then I was more addicted to non-hero type books.
Okay.
So mostly books I read are very off-brand.
Oh.
I have this thing for animals as people.
Okay.
So
Okay.
any kind of anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of book like that, I into that now. So
All
yeah, it's kind of fun.
Right. They even have manga like that now too, you know. They have a few. Beastars is one.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
that's a strange one.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
an
know
odd
that
one, yeah.
I just recently come across it too. I was like, yo, this is
Yeah, different.
yeah. It's like, all right, these stars, you're going hard in that one. But
Yeah. Like there's like Zootopia, but on a different kind of.
but anime down. That's what is Zootopia, but anime down.
Yeah.
Quick question: what
Right.
is your favorite anime?
Easy, the one that comes to mind the most whenever I'm asked this, and every time I go to a school to read, the children ask me this, and I tell them One Piece, right? And it really is One Piece, but it's a kind of tricky question because yeah, it's One Piece for now, but over the years I had other favorites. I like, we grew up watching Samurai X as we call it, Rurouni
Right.
Kenshin.
A classic, a Trini classic.
Wow, yeah, that's Trini classic for sure. Also, I liked Attack on Titan. I find that's like a modern day classic as well. You grew up on Dragon Ball Z. Must watch your Dragon
Yo,
Ball
I
Z.
was never a Dragon Ball Z fan.
For real, dog?
Never a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Why?
I never understood the hype of it at all. So
I feel what going with for you probably just like a lot of people in the West. We started seeing Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z is good, But I tell everybody, I think the best story arc in that whole thing is Dragon Ball. Before all the fire, the beams and the all that stuff, all the aliens and all that, when Goku was just like
a kid flying on a cloud or something.
That.
Right.
Trust me, start that. Try it from the beginning and you'll see.
I like anime, but here's the weird thing about it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to sound typical, Studio Ghibli movies.
Okay, no,
but I
but
mean,
that's-
Studio Ghibli movies are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aside from the fact that it's anime, my favorite one is Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, boy.
It's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
That's a real good one.
That one is sick. And then there's an anime movie. There's two. Ninja Scroll, where a lot of people know
A
about.
classic, yeah.
And Sword of the Stranger.
Boy, yeah, that one.
Yeah,
I
you know
find
that
it
one?
underrated.
That
Of
one's
course,
sick.
come on.
That
But
shit's
yeah,
sick. That
I find it
shit's sick.
underrated, though people don't really talk about that, boy.
And the only anime I like I would not want to miss an episode of is Naruto.
Oh, yeah.
But everything up to Boruto, because I just have to wrap my mind around Boruto
Right.
before I start it now. Because a lot of people bashed it, so
Right.
but I'm not really a kind of
I
a lot of
understand. You
people's
following-
opinions,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
form my own
Own
opinion. So,
I understand that, yeah.
kind of waiting for a little bit for it to kind of like wrap down or whatever
Right.
and to start it. Because at the end of the day, if Sasuke in it,
Right.
and Shikamaru in it,
Yeah,
I good.
yeah,
I can still watch that.
But
So
let me
I
ask
good
you
with
a
that.
question, though. Which Naruto you prefer, the Naruto or Shippuden?
All right. So I rather Naruto.
Same.
But my favorite episode
Right.
is Madara coming to fight back the five ninja
The
army.
Kage. Yeah.
Right? That is my favorite episode ever.
Yeah, boy.
Because
You're
Madara is
disrespectful, boy.
Madara is one of my favorite characters. I'm a Uchiha fanboy.
Right,
In
yeah.
that, that respect.
They're
now.
bad, though. They're bad, yeah.
Also, they always sacrifice the most
yeah.
and always get misunderstood for it.
True.
Yo, honestly, that's just facts. And after Neji died,
Yeah.
that was kind of upsetting too. So
Yeah. But you see, in the same way you're saying that you prefer original Naruto over Shippuden, that's the same thing with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, the power scaling is getting a little bit out of hand, and the same thing I find in Shippuden. But it's be more kind of, how to say, boy, more grounded in the original Dragon Ball, just like in the original Naruto. So
Right.
that is what I would say. If you come from Dragon Ball and you watch Dragon Ball Z, it'll feel better than if you just watch the Dragon Ball Z alone. Trust me. Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, that was always real confusing for me because as you say,
Yeah.
you talk about Dragon Ball.
Yes.
And that's with the Cloud
Yes.
and Goku.
And Goku, yeah.
Now that's why I knew it to be
Yeah.
before I even seen it.
Right.
And then when I moved to Canada, right, and everybody's talking about Dragon Ball Z, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at these characters, I'm like, but these are not the same
Right.
characters
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I had seen in this Cloud thing. I was like, where's the Cloud?
Yeah.
What's going on
You
here?
don't need the Cloud again. He's flying now.
Right. So I didn't understand, but
Yeah.
I find like a lot of reasons that we don't like things
Yeah.
is because we don't understand like
Yeah.
what's going on in it now.
No, it's true, yeah.
Right? Because certain shows, okay, so all right, so I'll talk about this one little show that I just watched with my wife, Love is Blind, right? So he's watching Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, who watches this now? Right? I was like,
Yeah.
who is where did they come up with the demographic for this?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, you could sit down and watch it as a man, normal.
Yeah.
Right? But you really have to think about it like, yo, they just filming these people over a course of like 3-4 weeks, maybe, or 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just editing out what they want us to see.
Yeah.
And leaving out other things now.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much of that used to go on until I watched the 50 Cent documentary with
Boy,
Diddy.
with Diddy,
And how much
yeah.
background stuff never get used and how he take out.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, so much is happening. Like, we really had to understand. And understanding anime
Yeah.
is very different because there's a new one that launched called Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I saw the first episode of that. It was lit.
But I couldn't understand like being a hero is bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, something like that. Being a hero is bad. They haven't really, I don't think they explained it
No,
properly as yet.
actually, I saw the first episode, and especially in the end of it, they kind of explain why being a hero bad.
Okay, I have to watch back the end because I
Yeah.
was watching it,
Yeah,
and then I was
yeah.
like, yo, this is a long.
Yeah.
It was an
because
hour,
I think like after the credits, they show you and explain to you why being a hero bad, and they show you how the main character end up being a hero.
Well, I kind of figured out because spoilers, but I mean, spoilers is whatever for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care about them things, but they showed that in the next episode or like a recap.
Okay.
So I understand why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing.
Yeah.
But Attack on Titan.
Right.
That's an anime that I didn't understand.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't understand because of the way I watch anime.
Okay.
I watch anime like this. There's a main character,
Right.
and I'm gonna watch the main character and all these other side characters. I'm gonna get emotional attachment to them
Right.
based on me and the main character now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you get attached to people.
Yeah.
You get attached to characters. And shows like Attack on Titan, there was no getting attached to anybody because anybody could catch it at any time and that's what I didn't like about it. And then I saw a next anime called Terraformers.
I never see that one. I heard of it, but I never saw that one.
That one's crazy because they spend the whole first 15 minutes of the episode building up this one character.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, he's so strong and fast and powerful. And
Yeah.
look at him kill this bear in this cage in this
Right.
death match, right? And bro pulls up to the mission. I'm not going to say what the mission is.
Right.
And gets wiped in a second.
Wait.
And then there's a next show where don't like nobody because everybody can catch it at any time. That show is crazy.
Yeah,
Right?
boy. I never taken that one.
Yeah, that could be one, but like I say, so that's why I have problems with anime now. That's why I kind of
Right.
latch on to Naruto
Yeah.
the way I did.
Yeah.
right?
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing with Attack on Titan, I don't know if it's considered spoilers for me talking, but I just will avoid like details. But I just like the way how with each season, and the more you find out about the world, the context keeps changing what you think about the story and what you think about the characters. Because at first they tell you one thing, okay, you go and believe in that. Then you realize, no, the nature of the world is a little bit different. And then each season, you realize it more different till by the time you end it, what you thought was going on is not what's going on at all.
I can tell you from
Yeah.
spoilers of Attack on Titan, and the reason I want to rewatch that series is
Yeah.
because I basically know what happens in the end.
Right,
But
yeah.
I don't know all the in-between stuff that happens before that. No.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could watch Attack on Titan and appreciate it more now, knowing that I know what the end is like.
Right.
So my mind isn't too hung up on which character's alive, which character's
Right.
dead, and things like
Understand
that.
that,
Now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I kind of excited to start that back, and because I know something about like they could eat Titans, I was eating Titans to get
Yeah.
other Titans
Yeah,
powers.
yes,
Right.
yes,
So
yes,
all
yes,
these
yes.
kind of things, right? So I know that kind of stuff. So
Basically, what I always compare Attack on Titan to, you ever watch any of the Gundam anime at all? You familiar with those?
never watched Gundam.
Right. So with Gundam, it's a lot of basically then mechs, as you know,
Right.
and also is a lot of like political drama and things like that.
Right.
Attack on Titan is basically that, but just with flesh mechs.
Right.
It's basically, but they hide it so well. It's only like by the third or fourth season, I sit down and watching it. I say, but wait now, this is just Gundam, but it's just flesh mechs. They use it when you watch it back, you'll tell.
I come to find everything inspired from something. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt
yeah,
that all
yeah,
everything
yeah.
inspired by a little something else.
Yeah.
All right. So I would like you
Right.
to tell me about how Petra and The Poui came about, like, and how this book series came about. What it was that made it come to fruition.
Okay, yeah. Well, basically, back when I was in my school days in Costart, I was on a real stress now, boy. So at that time I was reading. I'd pick back up my hobby for a little bit with the reading. I was reading the Harry Potter series, and I said, boy, I feel like I could write, but I never really. I tried my hand. I started writing a book, but I find it was too cringe for want of a better word. So I put it down and never pick it back up, right? And then 10 years passed, but that feeling I wanted to write was always inside me, and it was bothering me. I said, I want to die before I write a book, boy. So then eventually, another passion of mine, as I say, is anime. So because of that, eventually I ended up studying Japanese for 3 years in UWI. And then I found out about something called the JET program,
Right.
which is the Japan exchange and teaching program,
Right.
where every year they take people from all over the world, English-speaking countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, and they could go across there and they could teach English for up to 5 years. So every year I could recontract up to 5.
Right.
So my wife and I took out some leave from a job, but I ended up forcing me to quit eventually.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah.
And I went to Japan teaching English. And while I was there, one of the things I always wanted to see ever since is those cherry blossom flowers now, the sakura. I see it in anime and video games all the time. So I
Right.
really wanted to see that now. So while I was over there, I saw them. And even though they were very beautiful, it reminded me a lot of Poui trees because I used to live next to a little park. And the park had like a Poui tree in it now.
Nice.
And it make me realize, wait now, this thing was similar to that, right? I used to like to climb up in it and everything. So when I got back to Trinidad after a while, my wife and I was taking a drive to Toko Beach now. I never had gone to Toko, even though now I go to Toko all the time because I had to work up there from time to time. But anyway,
all right, yeah.
yeah. So that was the first time driving up Toko. I was driving and I was looking at the Poui trees outside. And I was like, girl, I find them Japanese people and they make a real big deal out of the cherry blossom. And we had this beautiful tree here and we doesn't really study it now. And I wish we could have do more with it. And as I thinking that, boy, no lie, this idea for this story just jumped in my head, boy. And I say, wait. Because I tell you, all the time I want to write something, I say, but wait now. And I started to think. No, I didn't want to write a children's book, but that's the inspiration I get now. So I was like, nah, boy, if I get this inspiration, I had to take it. So I say, by this same time next year, when this poetry blossom again, I go and have this book in my hand. And that is what I do. So as the account.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's how it went. So I get the idea. I went, I write it. I get edited, and I bounce up my boy Lendell, who does the illustrations.
Yo, big him up one time.
Yeah,
Jeff.
big up Lendell
Give me
Lara.
Lendell Lara.
Yeah,
Yo.
yeah. Big up Lendell Lara. That's fantastic.
Great work.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because how I end up linking up with him, when I finished writing the manuscript, I'm morning I wake up, and I think there was a boy, I had a guy illustrator boy. And I scrolling through Facebook, and same time I see somebody who on my Facebook page share artwork of his now with a little girl in her kitchen washing wares. And just the background and everything looks so trini, but yet kind of anime inspired. Even though I didn't realize it at the time. I say, what? This how I want my book to look. So I contact that man one time and he say, yeah. I say, well, boy, this was meant to be. So that's how I come up with the first Petra book. And the second one, as time was going on, my editor encouraged me. She said, you have something. You have me, you have Lendell. I think you shouldn't stop here. And with that now, I started thinking, what next, boy? And I remember I have a friend in Japan who plays pan, named Tomoko. That's who inspired the Japanese character in that book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Big up to Moko.
Yeah, big up Tomoko. Yeah, man. So with that now, I say, yeah, boy, them Japanese people really love pan, so I came up with that story of Petra making friends with a Japanese pan player. And so that's how the series going. And the third book now, I'm working on something. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's Kendo. You're familiar with Kendo?
I'm very familiar. Actually, I have an idea for your fourth book.
Tell me.
I don't even know. Do you want me to bust it here?
Yeah, talk.
All right, because I know the theme of the third book, because I'm very interested in the Petra series, because, Phil, it's good. It's a good book, right? And try to always get them for my niece.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Every time it comes out, I get one for my niece.
Yeah.
But, so we're going to go Kendo,
Yeah.
right? The next one should definitely be stick fighting.
Dog?
Book 4 should definitely be stick fighting and keep it within the same time period of a year, so it's not a lot of time passing between Petra and her friend.
Dan, funny enough, this third book has stick fighting already.
Oh, I find like you should like separate it. I find like you can't even separate it now, but
Yeah.
that would have been the ultimate. Like the fourth book could have just be all about stick fighting.
Because you see, the thing is, I always like to do like a blend of the cultures now. So the first book is Poui trees and cherry blossom. The second book is pan and a Japanese person who like playing pan. So it always had that cultural contrast now. So
Right.
the third book, if it's a kendo, I wanted it to also have a stick fighting
fighting.
element now. So that is just when I read it, you'll see.
I'm glad, because I just mean great minds is think alike.
That is
Creative
it,
minds
yeah.
is think alike. Creative minds is think alike.
Yeah.
Wow. So
that is
okay,
it.
interesting. So every
Yeah.
time you're gonna put on a book, you try to think about how it will impact the Trinidadian culture
Of
and the
course.
Japanese culture
Yeah.
and how to blend it.
Yeah, because I am. That is the thing, boy. Because besides just Japan, I did a bit of traveling in my life. I went to Thailand, Singapore, Australia, Paris, London, Venice, all about. And every time I go to one of these places, even though those places have their own beauty, their own culture, and I just love to see it, but at the same time, it's always make me think Trinidad have plenty thing too, boy. And I find like, I don't know, boy. I find we could appreciate it more.
Right.
And so
right.
I thinking with my series, I could use Japan as a mirror almost to show Trinidadians. You see the same way we watching them and like what them have, and rightfully so. We also have things here to like too. We also have things here to be proud of too, boy.
Right.
Because next thing, while I was over there teaching English, right? At time one of the teachers asked me to teach a lesson on something called World Heritage Sites. I did never hear about that, but she
Right.
told me it most normal. It's like, Philip, why you do a lesson on World Heritage Sites? I was like, what is a World Heritage? I never heard of that. So I had to go looking it up, boy. And I realized that World Heritage Sites is places that, don't only have to be a place. They're places or cultural items. It could be food, it could be a festival, anything like that.
Right.
That is of so much importance to humans as a whole that is protected by the UNESCO or whatever.
Right.
And so that is, if you could petition for it and convince them, there is election things as World Heritage Sites. Japan have a lot of World Heritage Sites. Singapore have a few. Italy have the most.
Okay.
And I find that things in Trinidad that could be World Heritage Site. The Pitch Lake could be a World Heritage Site. Carnival could be a World Heritage Site. The pitch, I said already.
Right.
Doubles. All kind of thing we have here could be World Heritage Sites. And as a Trinidadian, never even hear about a World Heritage Site. So I telling you, I find as Trinidadians, in my heart, I find we have world-class, world-level things. I tell you, Pigeon Point Beach in Tobago is just as good. I was in Hawaii and in Thailand and a few other places, and I watching the beaches. They're nice, but Pigeon Point nice like that too, boy.
You know what's so funny is that I've been to Hawaii too,
Yeah.
and Pigeon Point is nice
I'm
like that.
telling you,
I've
boy,
only
yeah.
been one place where the beaches was the nicest beach ever,
Uh.
but I almost drowned in that place too. Now. But I was kind of whatever. I was cool. with it. I was like, yo, if I not drown, at least I drown in here, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Tell
yeah,
my
yeah.
story to my people, and them and forget about me.
Yeah.
But that was Morea
Morea?
in the Polynesian islands.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the nicest beach. But Tobago,
Yeah.
Pigeon Point,
Yeah.
I mean, only when the sargassum and
Yeah.
is when things is bad, but
Yeah.
Pigeon Point is a beautiful,
I'm
beautiful
telling
beach.
you, boy.
And You know what? I'm so happy I got you on this interviewing series I doing it because
Yeah.
I love how you're talking about Trinidad and Trinidad culture and saying that we have any things here too. And
Yeah.
yeah, we have our problems, but everywhere have problems.
Everywhere, yeah.
Right. And also people, if in case you didn't know, scaling, right? This place is small, so it's easy to hear bad news,
True.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But those places are super big. You don't hear bad news for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so there's good and a bad to everything, right?
Yeah, true.
Every little situation. But yeah, this so now I interested in what the fourth book's possibilities could be because, but don't tell me.
Don't say
Don't say anything as
okay,
yet. Don't say anything as yet. We gotta make sure we wanna make sure book three sell.
Yeah.
So people could come and get book four
Yeah.
first. Right? After book three launch and sell, you'll bring me back over
All
and
right.
talk about
And
book
then I'm
four.
gonna talk about book
Yeah,
four.
yeah,
No problem.
No problem. No people go and get the book three.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested in the kendo versus the stick fighting element that you
Boy,
had mentioned.
I can't wait for it to come out, but no lie. Right now, the phase it at right now, it by the formatter. So the formatter working on it right now to put it together, and after that, it's just to send to the printers.
Well, after you proof it. At
No,
least,
it done
right?
proof on it. Well, proof in the sense of like after the formatter put it together, yes.
Yeah, just
So
to make
after-
sure there's
yeah.
the right words on the
Yeah,
right page
yeah,
and stuff like
exactly,
that. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
You know, I always wanted to do a book, yeah?
Okay, I remember you tell me, you know.
Yeah, a book of poetry, but I read that poetry like now and it's super emotional, boy. That I don't even feel like that shit should ever see the light of day.
That's how I felt about the first things I was working on. I was like, I don't want nobody to see it. I keep in it, but I don't want nobody to read that.
Now, this is my first. This is gonna be my first thing I working on is the Unquestionable Nerd series, the
Right,
interview
right,
series, and I got back happy with that book. Boy. Your
No.
boy say cringiness.
Yeah. No, I tell you.
Cringy.
So, but every writer does have to get that first one out, boy. So you get out your system, and then you put that in a corner, you lock it away, and then you work on something else afterwards. Everybody does go through that, boy.
Nice. Good to know I wasn't by myself on that one because woo, we was going on some drastic roads. But yeah,
Yeah.
so you lived in Japan for how
2
long?
years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you studied Japanese for 3 years in
Yes.
Trinidad. So
Yeah.
would you consider yourself bilingual?
No.
Okay.
Because,
So
okay.
how would you term it?
All right,
Or that you just, I'm very knowledgeable about Japanese.
I was, when I was living in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
I was functional.
All right.
So it's not like I would get lost somewhere and I couldn't ask for directions, or I could have a conversation and tell them I come from Trinidad and X, Y, and Z. I was
Right.
conversational. But if you wanted to get too deep with some kind of real philosophical conversation, or you're talking a little too fast, I couldn't do that with you. But if
Too
you,
much haru.
yeah. I understand. I couldn't do all that. But
Ken.
yeah. But I could keep it, you know. But now, because funny enough, you see, when I came back to Trinidad that year after I left Japan, that was when my Japanese was at its peak, oddly enough.
Oh my God.
Because like now, and I came back, and then two things happened. Well, three things. One, my same friend Tomoko, she wanted to visit us.
Right.
So I had to brush back up on my Japanese to entertain her. Because
Right.
the girl a little bit rusty, and I now land back, and then I had to brush up for her, and she forced me to speak in Japanese. So that is one. Two, there was an exam, proficiency exam that I always wanted to sit. I was in Japan and I had my opportunity to do it, but then same day that was happening, same day it was happening, the first and second. Well, first year they had the first Tokyo Comic Con in Japan, and the second year the second one. And both times Stanley was there. So I was like, is either I go see Stanley, who's 90 something, and it's a once in a lifetime chance, or I do this exam. I was like, forget that exam.
Yo, forget that exam is a joke, yo. You get to meet Stanley, man.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
go meet Stanley.
You
The
understand?
end.
Yeah, so then now when I came back to Trinidad, they finally had it in Trinidad. You could do the exam. So I studied for that. So that, and then third, my Japanese teacher asked me to enter a Japanese speech contest that they was having in tandem with the embassy and CLL, which is the language lab in UE. And at first I was like, I know my Japanese ain't so hot again, but I say I'll give it a chance. I end up entering, I end up winning that. But that was 2019. But after that, my Japanese just, because I don't use it, it just gone straight down. So 2026, Philip, I ain't really so hot with the Japanese. But back then, yeah.
Okay. Wait, do you know what haiku is?
Yes, I know what a haiku is. Yeah.
What is the... All right, so tell the people and you're going to be telling me as well.
Right.
What exactly is the definition of... What defines a haiku?
No, I know about haikus and I have seen what defines it before, but now I have forgotten. But it's in that order. So I think it's like 3 or 4 lines.
Yes.
And they have to be, each one has to be, there's a specified length of words they have to use in each one.
Right.
That is what makes it a haiku. Now,
Okay.
to tell you how many words in each, I can't remember. But that is what makes it a haiku.
I wonder if I was going to ask you could just make up some bullshit haiku.
Good.
Like, right,
I
right? Because of bullshit haiku on this spot right now.
The word levels, I said I'd do it for you. Yeah, I just don't remember how many words in each. Cause I think the first one have a certain length, and then the second one's supposed to be short, and then the third one is back to the first length or something like that.
It'd be like the rain falls, the mountain quenches, its thirst is quenched.
Something so
Like shit, like but that's the English, right?
Yeah,
But I mean, like, I thought you could just bullshit
No,
haiku there
yeah,
quick.
damn, yeah. I just
Oh.
can't remember the word numbers. That is all.
That'll be
Right.
good. That'll be good.
Yeah, well.
All right. So, do you listen to any Japanese music?
Mostly anime related. Yeah, but yes. I
Okay,
do,
so
yeah.
all right. So funny that you would say it exactly like that.
Yeah.
I need that stop. I need that to stop. That is slander of the people and their music. Calling it anime music is slander and it needs to end. Right? I ain't hear nobody ever call the theme song from Friends.
American music.
Yeah, hey, that's
Yankee
American.
music.
That's American sitcom music, boy. That's some good American sitcom music. I love sitcom music. No, nobody
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
that. So stop calling it anime music. Those songs are actually rock songs, rap songs, well, the J-pop, mostly pop, obviously, and poppy rock. That's their music.
Yeah.
You understand? It is not anime music, right? It's not that's like saying Minmi is an anime
Yeah,
artist.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
not
yeah, she don't even- yeah,
she
yeah.
sings like the craziest like song, like, and then like
Yeah.
it's a shampoo.
Shampoo. Yeah.
She sings the craziest songs.
But you know what's funny though? She actually, I think, have sung at least one soca, you know. Yeah.
It's summertime, and she had a song with Marshall.
Yes.
And she came down here and performed.
Yeah, she did,
on a
yeah.
Marshall Monday. And that's the first Marshall one. That was when the fete was called One Fete.
Yes, yeah.
And that's the only real serious time in my life I was like, yo, I need to go to this fete. Because I used to avoid certain fetes, not because of any reason, more just like I don't like too big crowds now. And then trying to leave and traffic. So I used to avoid the real popular fetes, and I used to go to smaller fetes now and have a little time in those kind of vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I listen to Japanese music.
Okay.
I don't understand what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it now. So Minmi,
Right.
right? Baseball Bear,
Uh-huh.
Kana Boom, Nikrai Toki, M-Flow,
You need to promote to some of these, isn't it?
Digimo. Like,
Yeah, you need to promote to some of
but you
these.
see, my nerd does just run parallel now. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, I became a Japanese music listener, like, randomly. And this is like years now this is going on, because I don't know why. I was just like, yo, it's kind of happy music. I don't understand what it's saying, but the music, the vibes is kind of happy. I like that.
Speaking of which, you know what crazy, boy? Like, I remember, well, I show you what Samurai X.
Of course.
Right. So it had one of these songs, the opening, not the first one. There's one where in the kind of middle of the Shishio arc, and have this woman singing a kind of high pitch, and she's kind of fast paced, poppy kind of song. But like, if you know the meaning of that song, boy, to me, like, basically it's a song about a girl. She young, and she young in love now, and it is like the essence of young love. She's so in love with this man that the fact that her skin and his skin keeping them separate is too much. That is the kind of thing she's saying in them lyrics, right?
That's so crazy. You know what's so crazy? Because you understand Japanese music sort of way different to you, though.
Yeah.
I have friends from Kenya, and when they watch Lion King, they're like, yo, people watching Lion King, but they have real jokes in Lion King that people not getting now because they're speaking in Swahili.
Right.
So you get that same vibe from the tune.
No, and that's the thing too. That is why people is always had the argument when they watch an anime whether to watch it subbed or dubbed. But I watch it subbed, not just because I like to hear the authentic thing, but there are a lot of cultural references and just the way they say certain things and phrase it. Even though my Japanese is not fluent, I will understand a certain nuance that somebody else wouldn't understand, and also the nuance with language. What people don't realize, right? When they translate in these anime, any foreign show in a different language that's not English, you don't just have to translate it, but you have to localize it as well, because there are just certain things, language and food and music and a lot of things are tied so intrinsically to the culture that they come from, that to translate it just straight, just raw, it wouldn't make sense. So in order to do that, you have to translate it and localize it and make it make sense in the language that you're translating it to. But then things are lost when you do that. So that is why I like to listen to it in Japanese, because I'm familiar with the context. So when I hear
You
certain
lose
things,
less meaning.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you have the benefit of the subs.
Yeah.
I mean, of the subtitles.
subs, yeah.
But you're listening to
I'm listening to
in
what
original.
they're saying too. Yeah.
Yeah, because as we all know, right? If you put on subs
Yeah.
and watch it dubbed,
Yeah.
they're always saying something different
Off.
from the
Yes,
subs,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
always
yeah,
off,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so annoying,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I don't care about the show, if I don't care about the anime,
Yeah.
I will watch it dubbed.
Yeah,
Because I don't have. If it's something I'm gonna invest my time in, I'm like, yo, original everything.
Yeah, that is the same thing. Or is according to the genre anime too. So if it's like something set in a fantasy world or something like that, I might still quicker watch that dubbed. But if it's something that's supposed to be in some kind of Japan, I'm watching that subbed because I want the context. Yeah, boy.
I don't remember. Just in case. We here for a while, but nobody likes me. So
Yeah.
I
Well, let me
can't
check
even
it out
bring
too.
all. Yeah, let me just
I'll make sure. All right, yeah.
Right, good. That was the perfect time. Given the length of the video and how far we in, that was the perfect time to make sure that was on silent. Oh gosh. So was the hopes for Petra, and are you gonna do something different now that you think that you've gotten over what I would guess would have been your first creative block?
Right. So for this series, what if I could have my way, I would. The intention that I have these 2 books, the one coming this year. I have the 4th one already in mind. It's just a matter to write it down. And then I have a spin-off book that I already wrote that is, Petra is in it and her father, but it's more about her father's boy days. I have that one. But those books that are that spin-off and the other 4th one, I really only intend to release those if I could still get back Lendl. Because I don't want to change the art style. That is the thing.
Is that something to be concerned about? Or?
Well, he's a busy fella. So,
okay.
Yeah, if I could catch him. If I can't catch him, or if he moved on to another project and things just take, that's part of the reason why the book delayed so long. Is to catch, the 3rd one was to catch Lendl in a timing where he could draw it now.
Right.
So if I find it thinging, I might have to, even though he tell me not to do that, but I might have to move on to other project. But so this is a thing that I am doing now. It's part of the reason why I am reading all these classics. Besides just these children's books, every year I challenge, it started last year, and
right.
continuing this year, and I want to do it for 5 years. I challenged myself to write one adult short story.
Okay.
So last year I wrote one called Rubber Ding Ding. It's a long explanation, but it's very, So okay, let me see if I can explain it short. Basically, it's a story about boys playing football.
Right.
In a park back in 2005.
Right.
And eventually they ended up playing this game where if anybody says something out of timing, that I take their slippers off and beat them now.
Okay.
Right? And it starts just like a fun game and just to keep people in line for not going off the rails with the conversation or being out of timing, basically, and spoiling the fun. But then it kind of slowly grows out of timing itself into eventually it can't even talk dialect. Like a man say you're smelling green, and it's like, how you could smell green, and they beat him for that. Things like that now. Yeah. And it's sounding funny, yeah, but if you read it, it kind of crazy. Now it's based on something that actually happened when I was growing up in my park. It didn't get to that extreme that I have in the story, but it was.
Right, but I mean, writing based off our life experiences, exaggerations to make it entertainment. Yeah, that's what you have to do.
And the story is a bit allegorical on how we kind of police language and we kind of value standard English over Trinidad Creole dialect, whatever you want to call it. The thing is, standard definitely has its place 100%, and everybody should be able to code switch. But there is something in our language, our English is no lesser than other forms of English. Every country, different places in different countries have their own dialect, their own whatever. Even in Japanese have dialects too. All these languages have dialects. Even the English, the standard English we talk now is a kind of evolved form of English. Because if you
Right.
go back 2, 3, 4, 500 years and you pull up an English book from back then, and you try to read that, you will know what they're talking
English,
about. Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's a
it's
whole other language.
some
right
kind of
there.
Latin and some other
Yeah,
Gaelic and
it's
whatnot.
too
Yeah,
close
yeah.
to Latin now. So
Umbria. They used to speak Umbria or something as well.
I think so.
They had plenty tongues back then. I mean,
Yeah.
and English was not one of them.
That is the thing. So for me, so that's kind of what the story is about, and just how things can get out of hand. And then this year I have another one planned. So every year for the next, well, that was the first one. I want to write 5 of them. And when I write the 5, I might release a short story compilation, and eventually I want to move on to
Ooh,
novels and things as well
nice.
too. Yeah, but I still want to keep doing the trans books thing. So even if for some reason the next land they'll move on to other project and I just can't catch him, I have the stories there put down for whenever he ready. But I also want to do other children's books and then other books as well. Just want to flex, you know.
So would you do, if you couldn't get Lendl again, would you do like a totally separate project with a different artist?
Yes, I want to keep Lendl, but I can't keep Lendl. You know what I mean?
Right,
If
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
of course, yeah.
So like, if it is I want to do other children's books, I would definitely want to like support other art, especially local artists, to do my illustrations and stuff.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
it might help you unlock a different part of your creative, right? I
True,
mean, a different
yeah.
art style might lead you to write differently as well, right?
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you kind of, with the anime style right now, it might be
Yeah.
that you write a certain way just to...
Just to like, yeah.
that will also complement the art style.
That is it,
But
yeah.
if you get somebody to draw something like a little bit more raw,
Yeah.
maybe you would get... Because I feel like you might do like a different type of local kind of...
I should, if you're interested, I should
Vibes.
send you the Rubber Ding Ding story, you know, and give it a read.
Yeah.
Well, I'll send it
That's
to
no
you.
problem. You could say, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
You tell me what you think about it.
I have an idea for the 4th book.
Okay, let me hear it now.
All right.
Yeah,
Idea
yeah.
for the 4th book. This is my pitch.
Yeah.
Folklore.
I've been
Onis versus, I want to say, Duens or a Sakunya.
That's a real good idea. It's something that has crossed my mind. In yeah.
Trevon, say it again. I heard you. There you go, right?
No, because that is something that crossed my mind and doing like Japanese Oni versus our like folklore creatures as well, you know. It's something that crossed my mind. I thought about it, but I like it, you know. And I could find the similarities and the same thing with the Petra
Of
thing.
course you
That
can
is-
find
yeah,
the-
yeah,
of
the
course you
similarities
can
and
find the
differences.
similarities.
Yeah, that is a real good idea, dog. I even had an idea where like a Japanese child and a Trinidadian child bounce up and they sit down telling each other ghost stories of
That could be it.
Yeah,
that could be the book right there.
yeah,
you understand?
yeah.
And what are like Petra's auxiliary characters?
Well, we
Like-
have Tomoko, we have Priya, that's our best friend.
Right. So it doesn't even have to be Petra in that book.
True.
It could be Priya and Tomoko talking.
True.
Kind
true.
of thing. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
just saying, you know.
yeah. No, that's true.
One day they
that's
could
true.
just be chilling, waiting for Petra to show up to the panyard, and they just chilling and talking ghost stories.
For real, innit? Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a 4th book. It can just be an
That's
interim book.
No, boy, I like that. That's a real good idea because I done doing one spin-off. I could do an next spin. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I could take 5%.
Once I jump onto it,
5%. If that book come out, 5 guys. In the contract right here, 5%.
I like that idea, man. I like that idea.
That, hey,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
if anything has an idea, man,
Yeah, no,
I might not use them to my benefit, but I have plenty of ideas. So
I like it.
Good skill of mine. Well, all right. So, what for Petra? You told us like your future and the plans and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And your plans is to write
Yeah.
more.
Yes.
You happy right now?
If I'm happy with it,
No, if you're just happy right now.
just
In
generally.
general,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am. I mean, as an adult, life has its challenges, Lord knows. But generally, yeah. I'm grateful. I got to like write these books, which is something that I always had on my heart to do. And I find the reception for it is more than what I could have asked for. Schools always invite me.
Well, we always want more guys, so make sure and reach out, right? You can reach them out.
Yeah, I'd appreciate
Reach
it.
out for some books.
Yeah. So, plenty schools, a lot of schools call me to read. I even once got a National Youth Award for my work with the books because I always working with like schools, NGOs and stuff, just doing readings everywhere. I even once did a video. The same jet program, ever so often they do a video contest where, they ask the participants of jet to do a video about anything related to Japan or whatever. And so I did mine about my books, and I actually won a prize in the contest, and they flew me to Japan, which I hadn't been to Japan for 6 years before that. That was in 2024.
I remember you winning that.
Yeah.
And I remember you going and being very happy.
Yeah, I was real happy.
That was very nice vibes, man.
Yeah, so honestly, I feel as though, see how I say I just got the inspiration. I feel as though that someone in Japan actually said that to me, and it had me thinking. I was like, this book, especially the first one, come like your lucky charm. Everything always happening in a good way, a positive way towards you regarding this. Now. I was like, you know what, you're right. And with all the other stories I write, I just be coming up with them. But Petra and The Poui, I didn't feel like I came up with it. I feel like that just hit me. You know what I mean?
And if you remember today when we were talking, right?
Yeah.
You said you had a pink jersey. Right?
Yeah.
This is not a jersey, dog. This is a polo.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And my idea different, but real good.
Yeah.
For what I want to see from, in terms of merchandise, guys. You understand? We want to branch out a little bit, right? Phil want to branch out, so Petra even more in your house, right? And more over there too, right? Because Petra want to travel, right?
Yeah.
So you could throw she and travel with her, right?
Yeah.
That would be the fun times. All right, so coming on to the end of the interview, have
Right.
anything you want to share with the people, the Trinidadians, the worldwideians, anybody?
Well, I just want to say, as I was saying before, the whole theme of my book, besides just the cross-cultural aspect, is really to encourage from the children from young in Trinidad to appreciate the things that we have in Trinidad. We have Carnival just passed, and a lot of people from all over the world came over to appreciate our music, appreciate our art. But we don't only have just Carnival. We have so much. Our culture is so rich. We have so much natural, spots to go to, foods to eat, that sometimes we're so close to it that we don't appreciate it. So I really want to encourage. I'll give you a little, I wouldn't call it a story, but it's a little something. I remember I went to Singapore. Singapore is really nice. Right? But I couldn't help but observe. For one thing, Singapore real small. I didn't realize how small Singapore was. And then I observed the fact that, as far as I could tell, a lot of the things that they tell you to go do and go see in Singapore, a lot of man-made stuff. And they're lovely, they're nice, but I like, so it's mostly man-made stuff. So, we in Trinidad have man-made things here, but we also have natural things too now. And I was like, they're small. A lot of the attractions here are man-made, but yet people come to Singapore as our best destination to go to. I having a good time. So I was like, what? We in Trinidad, we have natural things, we have man-made things, we're rich in culture. We could push this thing more, boy. So I really hope, if there's one thing I could hope, two things really. One, I would love my books. It's a dream. But I would love my books to be like a Trinidad classic.
Speak it, man.
Yeah.
I find personally, for me, I already consider them classics because
I appreciate that.
I'm not even glazing because to say that I know Philip, I know Philip through my wife. This is one of my wife's schoolhood friends, and she told me that he had a book, and I, being the collector I am, decided to give him a call and just buy a book because, I just wanted to collect a Trinidadian book, as I said earlier, right?
Yeah.
And that led to the kind of friendship we have now, where he knows that when I get my book, all my books need to be signed.
Yeah.
All my books must be signed before I get it. So I have
Yeah.
my own personal collection. And what I want you to do, how many copies of the first book you have?
What, today?
Yeah.
I have a few more in the car. How much have I?
All right, no,
Yeah.
I want you to just sign one copy for Matix.
Oh,
The
yeah.
First book, right?
No
And
problem. Yeah.
leave that here for him as a
Yeah.
gift, right? Trev, you have kids? You have a niece and
How
nephew?
old? That good.
Perfect age.
Yeah.
All
That
right,
good.
good. Talenting.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Safe.
Yeah. All right. So now, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And to wrap up this, the price to play is karaoke. Right? And let me tell you something. I don't want to say nobody else who's going to come on the show can't sing, but I don't think after this performance, it doesn't matter what you sing. Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you sound. This is going to be the baddest karaoke on this series. This is it. And if you don't believe me, at the last episode of the series, you can tell me which one was the best, right?
I'm hyping him up there now.
This is to me. This could be it. This is it. This is it. All right, yo, Trev, let our man do his thing, man.
Haru o ai suru hito wa kokoro kiyoki hito sumire no hana no you na boku no tomodachi Natsu no ai suru hito wa kokoro tsuyoki hito Iwa o kudaku nami no yona boku no chichioya Aki o ai suru hito wa kokoro fukaki hito Ai o kataru ai ni no yona boku no koibito Fuyu o ai suru hito wa kokoro hiroki hito Neyuki o tukatsu daichi no yona boku no haha oya Ra 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 ra
Trev.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. We don't stress out them vocals anymore. Yo. And now I want anybody to be able to deny why I said what I said. Right? This man now sit down here and sing this entire Japanese song flawless. Right? I know it might have other people that can sing. Hell, it might even have a singer in future interviews, but it's not gonna be as bad as this. Alright? That's it. That's a wrap on the karaoke wrapped up right here. This will be the best one. Anyway, I'll tell the people where they can find Petra on the social medias.
Right, so you can find Petra on Instagram. Just type up Petra and The Poui, or I have my own personal Instagram where I post my reading activity as well too. So either Phillip Simon on Instagram or Petra and The Poui on Instagram. Facebook is the same. That's more or less the only two places that I have it. And in bookstores, most of the more popular bookstores nationwide, you can find it. RIK bookstores, Excellence stores, Scribbles and Quills in Gaston Court, Chagonas. These bookstores, I can't remember all the names, but I have my books in almost every store that I think bookstore I could think of.
You have it at MVE too, right?
Yes. And at MVE.
Shout out MVE.
Yeah, shout out MVE, Mark and MVE. Yeah, so that's Media and Variety Emporium in Chagonas Mid-Center Mall. My books are carried there as well, so check it out.
Also, shout out all the bookstores that Simon named prior to. Thanks for the support. You know,
Definitely.
We appreciate your supporting the culture, because this is it. This is the culture. You understand? This is the new culture. And we're hoping that people will recognize Petra for what it is, a gateway between two different countries, right? Because his love of Japan and his clear love of Trinidad and Trinidadian culture. I mean, if you all can see that in this, that you're blind. You'll just listen to this whole thing. You didn't do nothing else. But I am shocked in a good way that he is so very much into his country. I respect that.
I appreciate that, man. But also, I want to say, I want to thank you for all the support throughout the years with my books. And you seem like a fella who really, really appreciate Trinidad culture as well. I see that. You like to support your local thing. And that is something that I find that is very admirable. And we should all take a note from that. So,
Thanks,
yeah,
man. Yeah. Yo, I try to support as much local stuff as I can. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully we'll see more of that support show up over here. All right, guys. Till the next one, right?
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Sayo?
having me.
No
Yeah.
problem. Later.
Nice.